And we're live. Ah, man, rookie mistakes. That's why I'm doing this. Forgot to put my mic on. Sweet. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode number 4. We're starting with chapter 67, working in the node editor. We are on. This chapter discusses how to work in the node editor, including multiple ways to add, connect, rearrange, and remove nodes to create any effect you can think of. So let's begin. Let's take a look at the things that are in orange here. The main topics as a way to skim through. Learning to use the node editor, navigating within the node editor, adding nodes to a composition, selecting and deselecting nodes, loading nodes into viewers. Does it go like that? No. Connecting and disconnecting nodes. Oh, we're going to go into nodes. I'm very excited for this one. I hope you are too. Because this is the meat and potatoes of why we're doing it, is to figure out the node systems, connecting merge nodes, connection options and routers, swapping node inputs, extracting and inserting nodes, cut, copy, and paste nodes, instancing nodes, keeping node trees organized, node thumbnails. Oh, that's another thing. So I've now gone back to back days, and I walked away from the last one being like, for the next one, I should totally do some mouth stretches before I get started. And I did. But I did get a sweet thumbnail, like I was trying to tell you before. But I didn't have my mic on. So, yep, that's why it's kind of cool to just start recording, start making your videos, and there's a lot that you got to pick up on the way anyways, so beginner gains are a blessing. Finding nodes, custom node settings, node modes including disable and lock, and then there's node editor options, node tooltips, and the status bar. Learning to use the node editor. That's what we are trying to do here. And I want to turn this up. Turn the UI scale up so that on the replay you can see it. So let's restart. Look at that focus, man. Look at that intent. He is color. All right. Wrong one. Stream. This is a new stream. That's something I got to consider, is how to organize these. I think I'm going to have to do an organization session and put these into weekly folders. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. I don't know if that made any sense. It made sense in my head. What I'm saying is to organize this. Why not just do that now? Let's show you what I mean. Week 1. We're in week 1. So there would be, put this here, there'd be this one here. I don't know what happened to the shorts, to the stream 3. And then basically, okay, new folder. Shorts. And then a new folder here for, if it's a short, or the others are longs. Sure, why not? And then this would be stream. Oh, we're making folders on top of folders. Stream. And then shorts. So now we can get a little more organized. This one's not supposed to be here. Can I get it out this way? Can I move it another way? Load project. Shorts, longs, shorts. That was a short. This shouldn't be there. This shouldn't be there. This should be. This is like just a messing around. This was a short. That's also just testing. Affiliate marketing video was a long. That kind of was whack. And then this was a short. And this was a short. Short. To video mid-journey. That was a thing. That was kind of a thing. First YouTube video. Wow. This was a short. Definitely short. That was a. This was a test thing. That was a test. That was like a visual test. So there's a long, there's a short, there's a stream, but there should be like a messing around testing, like experiment. Not new folder. Experiment. That would be this. That was cool. All right, sweet. Why not work on the stream while I'm streaming, just to get things going, right? Like, let's be real, this is not a fully formed video production yet, but wouldn't that be cool if we could get it to presentable and document the whole thing during this stream? That's kind of a cool idea. I think that's how it works. You do streams and you stream yourself, building it up. Experimental, and then these should get out of here. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's it. I mean, this is Davinci Resolve. I think this is the main part about working on bigger projects is just organization, putting files in folders, and then like metadata is just filling out the details about that file, just describing that file, and that's something that's gets you to the next level, or so I believe. We'll test that theory here. Cool. Oh, oof. I don't know about you, but like as soon as that all cleared up, I was like, oof, feels good, man. Now we are in week 1. I guess I'll rename that. I'll do that right now. What's folder scheme? We're trying to figure out a folder scheme. Actually, oh, perfect. We could say February 2024. February. It's the weirdest month name ever. So that's here. Okay, stream. So now we can make a new called stream 4. And that's where we are now. All right. Cool. Awesome. Now we got ourselves in the right place. New fusion composition. I want it to be 30 FPS. And then we should start naming things, because that's also another thing that helps with organization and going to the next level. So this is node experimentation or learning. Great naming convention. There we go. Okay, but we're trying to describe it. That's the key here. And then we've got a blank slate. Now we're ready. Learning to use the node editor. The node editor, formerly called the flow or flow editor, is the heart of Fusion's compositing interface. It uses okay, locking in. Oh. All right, locking in. All right, okay, locking it in. We're here. The node editor, formerly called the flow or flow editor, is the heart of Fusion's compositing interface. It uses a flowchart structure called a node tree that lets you build a composition out of interconnected nodes, as opposed to using layers in a layer list. Yes. Each clip you add to the composition and each image processing operation you apply to those clips is added as a node, all of which are joined together with connections that propagate image data from one node to the next. Each individual node performs a relatively simple operation, but collectively they combine to let you create wonderfully complex results. This is the node editor. Welcome. This chapter discusses how to work in the node editor in greater detail, showing you how to add, connect, rearrange, and remove nodes to create any effect you can think of. To display the node editor, click on the node editor button. I don't even know if you can turn it off now. It's always there. Nodes? Oh, sorry. It's there. All right. Navigating within the node editor. The node editor is the place where you want to be, where everything relating to nodes and the construction of your composites happens. The more you learn about how to navigate within the node editor, the faster you'll be able to work. Yes, that's why I'm doing this. There are a variety of standard methods of panning and zooming around the node editor, many of which are shared with other panels in Fusion. Methods for panning the node editor: middle click and drag. That's usually how I do it. Hold down the shift and command and click and drag. What? Shift? Oh, shift and command. Nah, I just do middle click. And then methods for zooming the node 4E editor. The default, what? Someone just fat fingered a 4 in there. Press the middle and left button keys simultaneously and drag it. That's the new one. I'm glad it was brought back up today because I never use it like this. Middle click and left click, or middle click and right click also works. Hold down the command key and use your scroll wheel. That's usually what I do. I do control and scroll wheel. Control and scroll. And then right click the node editor and choose an option for the scale. Okay, that's another way. Scale 100. Press Command 1 to reset the node editor. Oh, there you go. And hold down the Command key and drag with two fingers. Okay, we're not on a trackpad. Automatic node editor navigation. If a node that is not visible in the node editor becomes selected, either by using the find command or by selecting a node's header in the inspector, the node editor will automatically pan to display the node in the visible area. Okay. How do you do that? Wait, if a node is not visible, but it becomes selected either by the find command or the... Oh, so if you use the find command for this node, it'll snap to it. Okay. Using the node navigator, another useful way to pan around the node editor is to use the node navigator. The node navigator is a small rectangular overview. Yep, just like before. It's that box. Some of this stuff is repetitive for this. So we get to hurry through them. Yay! To display or hide the node navigator, do one of the following. Right click and choose show navigator, or press the V key. To have the node navigator resume displaying automatically when needed, after you've closed it, right click in an empty area of the node editor and then choose Options Auto Navigator. Options Auto Navigator. Well, we don't have many. But yeah, I like the Auto Navigator. We don't always need it up, right? To change the size of the, yeah, same as before, you can scroll, drag it on the corner, and then to return it to the default size, right click, reset. Okay, all right. Then to pan, same thing, drag to the node, different node tree. Okay. Node view bookmarks. That's advanced, isn't it? Isn't it? Bookmarks are another way of navigating the node editor. Bookmarks save the position and scale of the node editor, so you can quickly and precisely jump from viewing one group of nodes to viewing another. To add a bookmark, do the following. Pan and scale in the node editor to view a group of nodes you are interested in. So if we just, let's try and do a template so we can expand it. Let's see what a waiver is. And let's get this. Is it just loading? Helix, let's do a helix. Yeah. Yeah. And then, so they're saying that if you, what are they saying? You can put it like right here, or like these three. But like this, doesn't matter, but you can just save the position. Bookmark. Yes, naming conventions. Bookmark 1. And then let's see, we'll go over here and we could say about key shapes view, and then we do another where it's like overview, then and we can even like hop around. Wow, that's Control Shift 1 2 1 2 3. Cool. So if it gets complicated, if things get complicated and you're trying to look at things, you can bookmark the place and save it. Cool. And then the first 9 saved bookmarks are given keyboard shortcuts. Wow. And if you do more than 9, you're just loco. They're also listed in the go-to bookmarks dialog along with the save tabs. Okay, tip. You can return the node editor to the default scale by right-clicking in the node editor and choosing scale, default scale, and pressing Command 1. Okay. Your node tree changes and you want to update bookmark names or delete bookmarks. Those tasks can be done in the Manage Bookmarks dialog. So to rename or delete bookmarks, all right. Okay, let's move on from bookmarks. That's very cool. You can rename just like other stuff now. We're starting to learn. A lot of these things work like the other things. Changing the sort order and assigning keyboard shortcuts. Bookmarks, we're still in bookmarks, bookmarks appear in the options menu and in the go to bookmarks dialog in the order they were created. The top 9 bookmarks listed are assigned keyboard shortcuts. Yes. This is what we just learned. If you want to change the sort order, yes. Okay, are we back in how to do it with Fusion Studio? Didn't we just read this? Okay. So, and what's the tip? You can hold down the Shift key to select multiple bookmarks and move them simultaneously up or down. Pro tip: using underlays as bookmarks. Underlays added to the node editor are automatically added as bookmarks. Underlays. I don't know what underlays are. They are listed in the options menu below the list of your current custom bookmarks. You can omit underlays from showing in the list of bookmarks by opening the go-to bookmarks dialog, disabling the checkbox to show underlays. When the checkbox is disabled, underlays will not show in the go-to bookmarks dialog, and they will not appear in the options menu. Okay, I don't know what those are, but we've been on bookmarks for a while now. Adding nodes to compositions, there we go. This is the good stuff. You can add nodes to the node editor in a variety of ways, depending on the type of node you're adding and how much guidance you need to find what you're looking for. Additionally, the way you add nodes to a composition may also be dictated by how you need to attach that node to the current node tree. Make sure you're adding compatible nodes. It's a good rule of thumb to make sure that whenever you're adding or inserting new nodes to the node tree, that you're adding nodes that are compatible with the nodes you're trying to attach to. For example, you'll have no problem inserting a blur, color, filter, paint, or position node after almost any 2D operation. However, if you try to add a merge 3D node after a glow node, it won't automatically connect because those two nodes cannot be connected directly. Adding, inserting, and replacing nodes using the toolbar. So the Fusion toolbar located above the node editor displays a selection of frequently used nodes displayed as buttons with distinct icons. These buttons can make it fast to add merge, background paint, mask, transform, and many other commonly used nodes with the click of a button or the drag of your pointer. Tip: if you don't know which node a particular icon corresponds to, just hover your pointer over any toolbar button and a tooltip will display the full name of that tool. Just hover over it and it will say. It'll say down there. Oh, that's where it says. Methods of adding nodes: by clicking toolbar buttons to add a node. After a selected node, select a node in the node editor and then click a toolbar button. Oh. That's important. That's good to take note of. So let's close this up. So if we have a background, let's make this background like an off green, and then we can do with this selected, with this selected, we want to, yes, so it automatically kind of connected properly. And then we want to add a blur, and it auto does it because I have the thing. Ooh, we're just doing it. We're just learning this stuff right here. And then to add a disconnected node to the node editor, deselect all nodes, and then click the toolbar, just for the sake of, yeah. And then to methods of adding nodes by dragging toolbar buttons. To add a new node into the node tree, drag a toolbar button into the node editor and onto the connection line between any two compatible nodes. When the connection highlights as the node is over it, drop and the node will be inserted. Wait, I thought this was actually gonna blur. Why isn't this blurring? Shouldn't this be blurry? What if I do this? Oh, because it's not showing. There we go. Oh, still learning though. Yeah, but there we go. Then we got a blurry, nice muted green, and we can add something in there. What are we gonna add? What if we add another? No. Let's make it a 2D thing. Let's add a curves, and that's how it does it. Auto connects. Oh, curves is not how I expected it to be. This is not what I expected. I was expecting the curves to be like, you know, the one that is in Photoshop. Color curves, maybe that's what I meant. I replace it, oh, so I can just, that is what I meant. And then I blew it out. Can I right click and reset? Yes, I can. I expected that to update. And then once it gets to here, it blows it up. Well, that is what I was trying to do. I was trying to like There we go. I'm doing something. Something's happening. Hey, that's pretty cool, actually. Except that the background is black, which is, if we had something it was merging with, merge. Oh, but we want this to be on the bottom. And that's where I don't know how to do it. Channel. I'm on the close path. Oh, because this is a 3D object, so it's got to be a 3D merge, I think. Man, we're just getting started and we're already kind of taking a hard detour, but it's all right. That is all right. And that's not going to work. Okay, that's where it starts to get confusing for me. So let's just take the W and keep moving. Methods of adding nodes by dragging them on a thing. You can create a disconnected node the same way, just drag it onto the thing. To insert a new node after a node loaded into a viewer, drag a toolbar button onto a viewer to insert a new node after whichever node is viewed, regardless of whether any nodes are selected. Okay. All right. To replace a node in the node editor with a node from the toolbar, drag. Oh yeah, we did that. Press OK. When you replace one node with another, any settings that are identical between the two nodes are copied into the new node. For example, replacing a transfer node with a merge will copy the existing center and angle values from the transform to the merge. That's another one of those things that, like, I feel like might come up at some point and trip whoever hasn't read this. Why would that be on by default? I don't know. Adding nodes quickly using the select tool window. The next fastest way of adding or inserting nodes into the node editor is by the select tool window, which lets you search for any node available to Fusion by typing a few characters. Once you learn this method, it will probably become your most frequently used ones. This is the way that I think most people do it. I don't know, I had this idea yesterday of like loading this with like a workflow that you use often, and then it would be sweet to just be like boop, 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 boop. But they're saying the way to do it, Control spacebar. Yeah, and that's what I've seen before. I've seen people do that. Do one of the following to determine if you want to insert. Oh, but let's see. If you want to insert a node, select a node that's compatible with the one you'll be creating, and the new node will be inserted after it. So if they're compatible, it just requires selecting. So select, and then what am I trying to do? Another background. Oh, yeah, and it does the stuff for you. It does the thing for you. And now it's all black because we got to... Oh, because we want to select this and add a mask to it from here. Doop. And we can make this smaller. It's just over here. And then blur it again. We don't have to do the whole thing over, but I don't know what I'm doing, but I like it. So if you press shift spacebar to open this dialog. So if you want, all right. So they're saying if you press shift spacebar to open the select tool dialog, the key is shift in that equation, shift. Okay, let's just read what it says. When the window appears, type characters corresponding to the name you want to do. A list automatically appears, and you can up and down arrow if it's not selected already. If you don't know the name of the exact tool you're looking for, you can also type in common keywords to get you to where you want to go. When you've selected the correct node, press the return key, and that node will be either inserted or added. Tip, whenever you use the select tool window, the text you entered is remembered the next time you open it. Oh, so don't write any dirty words because it's going to be there for the next time. So then, for example, if you want to add 2 blur nodes in a row, you can just press Shift space and then press return to add the second. Oh, ho. Let's add all the blurs and then Shift space. Aha. Oh, okay. Okay, that was smooth. That was smooth. Let's add a glow. I saw some other dude and he was just like, you want to add a glow? And then you want to add a glow. And then you want to add a glow. And then after that, you want to add a glow. So that's what we're going to do. Look at that. That thing is radioactive. But that's where I got hung up before, trying to think of like how to put it in Z depth. How to put it behind this layer. But it's not layers. That's not what we're doing. Yeah, so I don't know. Let's continue. Adding nodes from the effects library. While the toolbar shows many of the most common nodes you'll be using in any composition, the effects library contains every single tool available in Fusion. Wait, the toolbar? Yeah, the toolbar, but the library has everything. So does the search thing, right? Better. I think it does. It's gotta. Organized by category with each node ready to be quickly added to the node editor. If you need more guidance to find the node you're looking for, or if you just want to browse around and see what's available, the effects library is the perfect place to start. So if you just want to take a random walk, then you go over here and you skim through here. See what's at your fingertips. Glow mask. Lens flares. Ooh. Yo, let's add a lens flare. Oh! Oh, just clicking it. Wow. It's what am I experiencing? Like, this is such a cheesy lens flare, but it's so cool to see this. Adding nodes from the effects library. Yeah. So walking through here. A lot of stuff in there. We'll probably dive in. Well, we'll just keep skimming it like we're doing it and probably get into them later. So to open the effects library, yeah. Tools. Oh. Oh. Man, there's a lot. I was just looking at the templates. Oh my goodness. Effect, glow. Everybody loves glow. There's flow. Oh, there's the underlay. What is that? Oh, that's, I mean, literally it's just putting something under it to comment. And then there's sticky note, which is for here to be like, yo, so this was in the flow section. Okay, wow, this is cool. I'm going straight to the interesting stuff here, because this is how you keep track of what's going on. Wait. Oh, and then you can, Oh, if it's in an underlay, then it kind of sticks to it. But now if I move that over, it's not connected. Okay. Particles. Paint. Optical flow. Tween? You can do the in-betweeners if you're doing animation. What's it do? Man, there's a lot of stuff here. Mats. Metadata. Why would you set time code? Set metadata. Oh, that's advanced stuff. Mats. Masks. Lookup tables. In out. Lifesaver. Read EXR. Generator. Mandelbrot. Plasma. Text. Oh, text is in generator. Day sky. But a Mandelbrot. We could get a Mandelbrot in there. Wait, could we add a Mandelbrot? I just have to click it. Oh, yes, we can. Oh man, does this look terrible? But it's fun. And we'll figure out how to make things look good later. We're just reading the manual, aren't we? To open the effects library, click the effects library button in the UI at the top and then go through it. By default, the category list shows the primary sets of effects, tools, open effects, templates, and LUTs with disclosure controls to the left that hierarchically show all subcategories within each category. What? Oh, okay. So just categories. Categories upon categories. What is VR? Nanomap. Volume fog. You can get lots of particle stuff. Open FX. Temporal, stylize. Texture. Blur. Uh-oh, I pressed. Okay, we're back. Then there's OpenFX. Third-party OpenFX plugins will appear here. In the tools, you'll get tools consist of all the effects nodes that you use to build compositions, organized by categories such as 3D, blur, filter, mask, particles, and so on. So they're the building blocks. OpenFX can be the plugins. And then templates. When using the Fusion page in Davinci Resolve, templates consists of presets, macros, and utilities that have been created to get you started quickly. For example, backgrounds consists of a variety of customizable generators that have been created using a combination of Fusion tools. Lens flares presents a wide variety of multi-element lens flares that you can add to any composition. Yeah, we checked those out. They're in the comp. Particles has a selection of pre-made particle systems that you can customize to your own use. Shaders has a variety of materials that you can use as texture maps for the 3D text and geometry that you create in Fusion. Shaders, huh? We're doing 3D work in Fusion. That'd be wild. I don't think I feel like nobody does that. Nobody uses Fusion as a 3D engine, as their 3D software, do they? Maybe they do. I don't know. And there are many, many other categories worth of useful presets and macros that you can learn from and use in your own projects. There's lookup tables. We're not gonna worry about adding, inserting, and replacing tools and using the effects library. Adding nodes to the node editor from the tools category of the effects library is very simple, similar to adding nodes from the toolbar. Really? I thought these were all you would need. Methods of adding nodes by clicking in the effects library. To add a node after a selected node, select a node in the node editor and then click a node in the browser of the effects. Oh, no, that's what we already, oh, yes. Same deal. These work the same as this, where if you want to add a blur, I could say blur. I could add it this way because it's selected and it goes together. It works. To add a disconnected node, deselect it just like before, and then click the thing you want. Methods of adding nodes by dragging from the effects library. To insert a node into the node tree, drag it in the browser. Okay. All right, to create disk, okay. To replace a node in the node editor with a node from the effects library, drag it from there to the thing. All right. Same as before, adding, inserting, and replacing templates using the effects library. Adding, inserting, and replacing templates. Adding items from Davinci Resolve's Fusion page templates category is often a bit different. Sometimes, as when adding a lens flare, a single node can be added or inserted into the node editor. When this is the case, adding nodes works the same as when adding from the tools category. So adding a lens flare effect, okay, other times, such as when adding an item from the how-to category. How-to is over. Where is the how-to category? Edit, Fusion. Here it is. Oh. Ooh. Huh. How come I don't have anything here? I thought they're supposed to. What? Very Blur uses a very simple method of creating compound blur. Simply feed an RGB simply feed an RGB or RGBA image and set the channel you want for the blur. Make sure you have set domain or the blur will only go to the extent of the text box region that has, okay. All right, this is interesting, but I'm afraid it's a little, ooh, so dumb. Where did it go? That was so sweet. Oh, there it is. What is this though? This is a how-to? How to do a text with Chrome? Okay, we're getting a little off track there. Or just kind of detoured into the bushes a little bit. Not off track, just a little happy side trip. Other times, such as when adding an item from the how-to category, which is where we're at, dragging a single item from the node editor results in the whole node tree being added to the node editor. Yes, that's what we just saw. Fortunately, all nodes of the incoming node tree are automatically selected when you do this, so it's easy to drag the entire node tree to another location, okay? In the node editor, where there's more room. When this happens, the nodes of the incoming effect are exposed so you can reconnect and reconfigure it as necessary to integrate the effect with the rest of your composition. Good to know. So for templates and stuff that you drag in, you can reposition them easily. Okay. Adding, inserting, and how are we doing on time? I think we're gonna take a 5-minute break and we'll be right back. Yo, we're back. BRB no more. So adding, inserting, and replacing nodes using the contextual menu. Another way of adding, inserting, and replacing nodes is to use the nodes editor contextual menu, which has dedicated submenus that let you create any node, any kind of node available in Fusion. This can be a convenient when the pointer is already in the node editor selecting, moving, or connecting nodes. Methods of adding nodes using the contextual menu. To add a node, right click in the area where you want to add it of the node editor and then choose a node from the add tool submenu. Add tool from here. Okay, it's all different ways to do the same thing. To insert a node, right click a node in the node editor. Oh, okay, actually that's a little different. Didn't know that one. You could right click it and add a node on top of it this way. There. And then to replace it, right click and choose a node from the replace tool. Same thing, you just do replace. So insert or replace. So insert will connect it to it like before, or replace to replace it. And then tip, when you replace one node with another, oh, this is the same thing as before. Any settings that are identical between the two nodes are copied into the new node. For example, replacing transform node and merge. Yeah. So deleting nodes. To delete one or more nodes, press delete or backspace, or right click one or more selected nodes and choose delete from the contextual menu. The node is removed from the node editor, and whichever nodes are connected to its primary input and output are now connected together. Nodes connected to other inputs, such as the mask inputs, become disconnected. Yeah. Before deleting a node from a node tree, top, and after. Yeah. Okay. Disconnected nodes. It's perfectly fine to have a disconnected node. Yep. They are ignored. Yes, we've learned that so far with our tinkering around. Selecting and deselecting nodes. In order to work with nodes in the node editor in any way, or modify node parameters in the inspector, you first need to learn to select the node or nodes you want to work with. So click them, literally click them. Selecting nodes is one of the most fundamental things you can do to move nodes or target them from a different, yeah. So methods of selecting nodes. To select a single node, click the node. To select multiple, command click, you can. So I'm doing control and I can select multiple there, that way. To select all upstream, okay, no, that's different, that's different. This one's important. Wait, so they say this is key, so let's read it closely. To select a whole region of nodes, drag a bounding box, yeah. To select upstream or downstream nodes. This is a interesting one. Right click a node and choose select upstream nodes. Select upstream. That's cool. And then there's select downstream. That's cool. Select all the nodes, Control A. And then to select a node from the keyframe editor, click any layer in the keyframe editor to select the corresponding node in the node editor. What? To select the node from the keyframe editor. Oh, select any layer in the keyframe editor to select the corresponding node in that. So let's demonstrate that real quick. You're in keyframes and let's look for color curves. Color curves. There it is. And then it will select. If I select that, yeah. Okay. All right. that seems like well, I'm not so as clear about that. I guess if you're working on it, that would be useful. If you wanted to snap to it to see it in the node structure, maybe if there's more real estate here, or zoomed out a bit more. Okay. And then the active node. When you select a single node using any of the methods described above, the selected node is known as the active node and is highlighted orange to indicate that its parameters are currently editable in the inspector, if the inspector is open. This also indicates that node will be targeted for specific operations, such as inserting new nodes. While multiple nodes can be selected, only one node will be the active node. Oh, yeah, how do they decide? Who decides? And it's highlighted by the orange, where was he? While multiple nodes can be selected, only one node will be the active node, yeah. To indicate the difference, the active node remains highlighted with orange. So color curves is not highlighted orange. But it is the active one, isn't it? No, I think they might have updated that. Because I select that, and then it's definitely, oh wait, if I do that. Oh, they're both selected, but this is the active one now? Oh, okay. But what if I do, okay, wait, what if I do this? Still color curves. When you select a single node using any of the methods described above, the selected node is known as the active node, yes. This also indicates that the node will be targeted right. Okay. Unselected nodes have simple black outlines. Okay, nothing there. And then to set the active node when there are multiple nodes selected, option click one of the selected nodes in the node editor to make it active. Open the inspector if necessary and click a node's header bar to make it the active one. Deselecting nodes when necessary works pretty much as you would expect. Methods of deselecting, click one once in the background of the node editor to select them all. Yes, okay, so loading nodes into viewers. Once you've started building a composition, the next thing you need to learn how to view specific nodes that you want to work on. This is important because the combination of which node is being viewed and which node is currently selected, these aren't always the same node, as we've already discovered in the first few episodes, often determines which on-screen controls are available and how they appear. In the following example, you're set up to rotoscope an image using a polygon node that's attached to the garbage mask input of a mat control node, which is inserting the mask as an alpha channel. Right? As seen in the screenshot above, you'll want to load the upstream media in or loader node into a viewer while the polygon node is selected for editing in order to see the full image you're rotoscoping. Oh yeah, like before we did that exercise yesterday, while keeping the polygons node spline visible. Viewed nodes when you first open Fusion. When you first open the Fusion page in Davinci Resolve, the output of the current empty composition, the media out one node, is usually showing in viewer 2. If you're in a dual viewer mode, viewer 1 remains empty until you assign it a thing. For whatever reason, today I'm working on viewer 1. There are several different ways to display a node in a viewer. Which ones you use depends on how you like to work. Yeah. Node view indicators. The view indicators are displayed under each other. Yeah, these things. and serve two purposes. First, they're a clickable interface for displaying the thing, and second, they're an indication of which nodes in the node editor are being viewed. Okay. So, right. To load a node into a viewer using the thing, just how I was doing it, press 1 or 2, 1 and 2. Clicking an indicator turns it white, yeah. So click or press 1 and 2. For complex compositions, you may need to open additional viewers. For example, one viewer may be used to display the end result of the final comp, while another viewer displays the source. A third viewer displays a mask, and a fourth viewer... They're saying to open up 4 screens, or 4 viewers. I'm gonna need a bigger monitor, more real estate. And a fourth viewer might be broadcast monitored connected via Blackmagic deck link card or other display hardware. When you have more than 2 viewers, additional view indicators are added and each one is assigned a consecutive number between 3 and 9. That means you can have 9 viewers. Just a wall of Davinci Resolve viewers. I want a dome. I want a dome to go around me. The more viewers you add, the more you may need help remembering, the more stuff you have to keep track of. Represented by which viewer indicator. Positioning the pointer over the view indicator is in question. We'll display a tooltip with the name of the viewer it represents. Drag and drop nodes into a viewer. If the view indicators are too small of a target for you to click, or unreliably, and you are not keyboard oriented, you should get keyboard oriented. Another way to load a node, into a viewer is to drag and drop it onto the viewer you want to load it into. This offers a quick, explicit way to assign a node to a viewer. Yeah, that's how the cool people do it. Please note that as you drag, the node will appear to move at first, but it will snap back into its original location once the pointer leaves the node editor. Yep, it'll work. Using the contextual menu, you can also right-click a node and then choose view on left or right. Okay, good to know. Is that? That's that. Okay, if you have 9 displays, this would be important. Which, who knows? Maybe we'll get 9 displays. That'd be... Never say never. Clearing viewers. Whenever you load a node into a viewer, you prompt that node. All upstream nodes and other related nodes to be rendered. If you load nodes into both viewers, this is doubly true. Does that mean it's getting double rendered? If you want to prevent your computer from processing views that aren't currently necessary, you can clear each viewer. That's a good one to know. I didn't know that. So methods of clearing viewers. Press 1 or 2 to empty the left or right viewers if they're filled. So it's currently the 1, but let's open 2. What is on that? So nothing is on that. So if you can hear it, I'm pressing 1. Press 1 or 2 to empty the left or right viewers if they're filled. It's filled. So I'm pressing 1 with nothing selected. Oh, so with the node selected, I have to press 1 again? Okay. I thought it would be like selected and then I select off and I press 1 and it would clear, but no. Okay. Oh, because with the node that's selected. So if I press this, it'll just switch to this, right? Okay. Or press the accent key to empty both. Oh, so that just clears it. Good to know. That is good to know. Because you could definitely have something rendering on both, and that would just freeze you up. But it'd be totally unnecessary. So create play preview. You can right-click a node and choose an option from the create preview play on submenu of the contextual menu to render and play a preview of any node's output on one of the available viewers. So right-click a node and choose option create/play preview. Create. Where is it? Create play/preview. Wait, create/play preview on. So it's like a quick render or what? The render settings dialog is displayed, and after accepting the settings, the tool will be rendered and the resulting frame stored in RAM for fast playback on that view. That's another kind of important thing, right? Useful. Tip, hold the shift key when selecting the viewer from the menu to bypass the render dialog and to start creating the preview immediately using the default settings or the last settings used to create a preview. That's a pro tip. So if you want to do it regularly, you right click it and then you left view. Huh. Okay, I just did it. Wait, what does that mean? Where does it go? Where is it? I think it's saved in RAM. Wait. I'll say to play a preview of the node, of any node's output on one of the available viewers. The render settings dialog is displayed, and after accepting settings, the tool will be rendered and the resulting in there for fast playback on that view. We all saw it render. Oh, there we go. It wasn't on. Huh. Well, I want to go into this helix right now and change the view to be a little more. What am I doing? I'm trying to say I got to change the camera 3D. Change the camera. Pointing up at the thing. And then let's open this. And there it is, right? Yeah. And so for this, can we just move this bad boy over here? Rotate. What's the hotkey for this? Is there no real hotkey? Very janky. Very janky. Probably a better way to do this, but this is kind of working, so let's just kind of keep doing this. This is kind of cool. Can we change the color of these things to be a little, like, what are the colors right now? There's the shapes, right? Material, there we go. Change it. I want it to be green and black. That'll be cool. But what are these things? I think it's this, but for whatever. No, here we go. Green and black, yeah. And then there's an orange tint in there, which I don't know what it's from. Matte, boop, boop, boop. All right, I'm not expecting much here, but I'm just playing around. That looks kind of like we're getting somewhere, but this color is too extreme. Too much of an extreme, and then this is too much of a black. Okay. All right. All right. So I guess basically slightly more muted colors. I don't even know. Just playing around. What in the world? And could we even keyframe the transform? Like if, okay, so if I move this, yeah, we could. Watch this. Wait, wait. Oh. Wow. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing right now at all. But I'm trying to move these things into frame. I just don't know how this camera is on the like where is this thing? I don't know. But okay. Like what is this axis? Or where are we in 3D space? We're lost in 3D space. But that's all right. Set keyframes at the start, and then we're gonna follow it like this. Yeah, that's what I wanted. And then can we can modify these to be Bezier curves, or we could just do that from here. Get it to here. S. Oops. Keyframes. These are keyframes. Am I looking for the spline editor? I think I am. There we go. And then we can do that. Select them all, Control A and S, and that just makes the camera cooler. All right. So, I don't know. We framed it up. I was barely watching this thing. Totally disorientated over here, but the result is kind of framed up how we wanted, which was experimentally. Let's see. So now things are happening. What it is looks like some lens flare and DNA and the Mandelbrot all mushed together into. Let's get rid of the lens flare. Just do this. Get rid of this. This kind of has to get re-rendered, I think. Also, hopefully I'll figure out how to do workflow management. For the time being, this should work. Should be seeing something. Because, wait, why? I need this here, and this goes here. Oh, and then this one goes here. This goes here. This goes here. Oh, it's a multi-merge, right? Because this has to merge here, and then this has to merge here, and then this has to merge here, and this merges. Oh, damn. Thought I was gonna get it there. Oh, boom. Multi-merges. We logicked that one. And then that's another thing is that we'll put in the back of our head is how to change the Z depth. How to get this thing to be behind these things. That's what I want to know. I don't know how to do that yet. But that was the create/play. Because you can now kind of get a quick, that's how you do a RAM preview. You just like, if it's not really working, you just press this and then it will RAM preview, or you could do a file sequence so you could render it out to look at it. That's even better. Well, if it's necessary. And then connecting and disconnecting nodes. Once you've started to add nodes to your composition, you need to connect them to perform their intended operation. Node basics. Each node displays small colored knots around the edges. Colored knots around the edges. One or more arrows represents inputs. They're inputs, yes. This is some more key stuff, isn't it? And the square represents the tool's processed output, of which there is always only one. There's only one out of the output. Outputs are white if they're connected properly, gray if they're disconnected. White and gray. Or red to let you know that something's wrong and the node cannot process properly. Each node takes as its input the output of the node before it. By connecting a media in node's output to a blur node, you move image data from the media in node to the blur node. Right, so this is how nodes work. It moves through, which does something to process the image before the blur node's output is in turn passed to the next node in the tree, till it moves on through it. How to connect nodes. To manually connect nodes. Okay, we've been demonstrating this, so we figured it out, but let's read. To manually connect one node to another, click on one node's output, the gray bit, and drag the connection line out to drop on another node's input. Drop it onto here. The order in which you drag node connections is not important. You can just as easily drag a connection from one node's input to another node's output and get the same result. Oh. So, yeah. Dropping connections to on top of nodes. To make your life a bit easier, you can also drag a connection line and drop it directly on top of the tile of a node to automatically connect to the default input of that node, which is usually labeled background or input. In the following example, a connection is dragged from the output of a media in node and dropped into the tile of a blur 1 node. And the background input is connected first. Yeah, so just literally, you don't have to drag it to that. You could just go boop, and it figures it out. If you drop a connection on top of a node that already has the background input connected, then the second most important connection will be attached. So if it's already taken, it'll get the number 2 spot, which for multi-input nodes is the foreground input. And for other single-use nodes may be the effects mask input. Some multi-input nodes are capable of adding inputs to accommodate many connections, such as the merge 3D node. These nodes simply add another input whenever you drop a connection onto them. Oh wow, they just stack. You can just stack 3D elements into a merge 3D all on top of each other, just like that. Attaching, oh, maybe this is where we'll figure out the Z depth stuff. Attaching connections to specific inputs. If you want to make sure you don't attach a connection to the default input of a node, then you need to drop it right on top of the specific node input you want to attach to. So that does matter. So if you always get in the habit of just dropping on top of the thing, you'll have to eventually probably, for certain types of nodes that require specific attachments or ordered attachments, you'll have to select where. If you can see the inputs label in the tooltip bar, then you know you're correctly positioned to make a good connection. However, there's an alternate method of connecting nodes together in instances where there are several inputs to choose from, and you want to make sure you're choosing the correct one. Hold down the Option key while dragging connection from one node's output and dropping it onto the body of another node. This opens a pop-up menu from which you can choose the specific input you want to connect to by name. Please note that this menu only appears after you've dropped the connection on the node and released your pointing devices button. Pointing devices button. There we go. So Alt, click on top, and then let go, and it. So this merge 3, I'm trying to do a multi-merge, and so what would this might be the wrong example, but merge 4 is connected to here, so it's multi-merging layer 2 or effect mask. So I could merge it with the layer effect mask. What does that do? Is that what it does? It only shows this, the Mandelbrot thing? Huh. It does. The effect mask. So it's, I don't quite get it, but we do have, I'm demonstrating something. I don't know what it is exactly, but so this merge, which has all this other stuff that we did higher up on the line, or further up, how would I refer to that? Further down the tree. So the stuff that's further down the tree, when I do Alt connect on top of this multi-merge, which is connecting with the Mandelbrot, if I drag and drop that on here, and then we are directing it to merge, for this merge to plug into the effect mask. Then we only get the Mandelbrot, because the effect mask, the mask of this effect, because this is an effect mask. That's what makes this show, I think. Anyways, you can Alt click on top if you want to specify what to connect it to. Automatically and manually attaching mask nodes. Mask nodes such as the polygon, B-spline, ellipse, or rectangle have a different automatic behavior when you connect them to other nodes. If you drag a connection from a mask node onto the body of another node, it will automatically connect itself to the default mask input, which is usually the effect mask input, right? So masks work this way automatically. And then the assumption is that you're using the mask to limit the node's effect somehow. However, this isn't always the case, so you'll need to be careful of this behavior to make sure you're attaching your masks to the input that will actually create the effect you want. Good to know. So identifying node inputs. While you are still figuring out all the nodes and their inputs, hovering the pointer over any knot will display a node tip with the knot's name. Oh, that is actually super key. I didn't know this. So this blue one, okay, but so blue is effect mask. White is a glow mask? No, that's glow. This is the glow mask. I don't know. No, that is. White is, oh, whatever. So blue is effect mask and green is foreground. Effect mask. Cool. Rather than remembering the different knot types, press the right mouse button. So literally what I was just doing. I was trying to do. Press the right mouse button, hold Option, and drag from the output of a node to the center of another tool. When you release the mouse, a tooltip will appear, allowing you to select the knot you want to connect to. What? Is that what we were just doing? Whatever. Okay. Node order matters. Oh, this is what I was talking about. The order in which nodes are attached defines the order in which each image processing operation is applied to the image. That's the answer. That's literally the answer. It's pretty simple. In the following example, a media in node adds a clip to the composition while a defocus node blurs the image, and then a TV node adds scan lines and a vertical distortion. Those effect nodes are then connected to the media out node in the Fusion page in Davinci Resolve or a saver node. That's kind of cool. But adding the defocus first, then the TV node second. As you can see above, connecting the defocus node first, followed by the TV node, means that while the initial image is softened, the TV effect is sharp. However, if you reverse the order of these two nodes, then the TV effect distorts the image, but the defocus mode now blurs the overall result, so that the TV effect is just as soft as the image it's applied to. The explicit order of operations you apply makes a big difference. So let's test that out, because I wanted to have this. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Just put this thing. But what is that thing? So this okay, so this thing merges in here. And all I gotta do is switch these two things. I go like this. Put it here. Go like this. Go like this. This. Multi-merge? This has to be a multi-merge? Let's replace it. I thought I said it was easy. It's so simple. Yeah, there we go. So multi-merge kind of will have a Oh, because it's not connected, it's connected to the background. But that's what I wanted. I wanted that to be the background. But do I? No. If it's a background, then it won't show up in this list. But this is still not showing properly, is it? Multi-merge. Oh, but then we don't need that. We don't need that. We actually could just do this and then this. Do we not even need multi-merges? We just need on there. This goes to here now. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's how multi-merges work. Are they? Do they? Is that how they do? Is that how they do? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know, is that if that's how it do. I don't think it is. I don't think it is, man. We're trying to do advanced things before we're that advanced. Adding a TV effect first and then defocus second. So that's pretty simple, right? This is showing in a line here. As you can see, the node tree that comprises each composition is a schematic of operations with tremendous flexibility. Additionally, the node tree structure facilitates compositing by giving you the ability to direct each node's output into separate branches, which can be independently processed and later recombined in many different ways to create increasingly complex composites while eliminating the need to precompose, nest, or otherwise compute layers together, which would impair the legibility of your composition. Yes, that's what I had trouble with in After Effects. In the following example, several graphics layers are individually transformed and combined with a series of merge nodes. The result of the last merge node is then transformed, allowing you to move the entire collection of previous layers around at once. Because each of these operations is clearly represented via the node tree, it's easy to see everything that's happening and why. See, they're doing like just these ridiculous node merge. I mean, the output, wait, let's keep going. The output of 5 text nodes being combined using merge nodes is modified by a single transform node. I get it. But is that the way to do it? What about multi-merges? Upstream and downstream nodes. Since nodes can be positioned anywhere in the node editor and added in any direction, nodes are referred to as being upstream and downstream of one another. Once you select a node, all other nodes that directly or indirectly connect to its input are considered to be upstream. Any other nodes that are directly or indirectly connected to the output are said to be downstream. This is an important distinction to make because, unlike layer-based systems, the visual positioning of nodes in your node tree has no bearing on the order of operations in that composition. The only thing that matters is whether nodes are up or downstream. To help you stay organized, there are select upstream, downstream commands in the node editor. Yeah, we saw that before. Disconnecting and reconnecting nodes. Node trees are continuous work in progress, requiring constant revision and rearrangement as you discover new details that need to be finessed or things that you can do better once the overall composition has taken shape. To facilitate quick changes, each connection between two nodes is divided into two halves. The output half, connected to the upstream node's output, and the input half, connected to the downstream node's input. Right. This can only be seen when you hover the pointer over a connection. The half your pointer is over is highlighted in blue. To disconnect two nodes, do one of the following. Click on the input half. Oh, that's it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, the input half. Bloop. All right. Bloop. And let's try to do it the way they were showing. Let's try. I mean, this is literally part of the figuring this stuff out. They had like a big old node assembly line, but I want these to be, I want the helix to be on top, so it would be last. This was, I wanted this thing to be on the bottom for whatever reason. I mean, it would make more sense for this to be on the bottom, but for the sake of trying to figure these things out, I'll order it one, and let's see if I can do an underlay. Underlay. Yes. Oh my goodness, this is so over-engineered for what we're doing. So I get all these, and I put it on the underlay. Yes. Now it's there. And then, yeah, the same thing as before. Oh, what if I select I select all of these, and then I can do that? Ah, oh, and it auto does it. Okay, that's the way. Okay. Just for the sake of demonstration. Oh, and we'll take a note. Note is, yeah, we're doing it. Okay. Now we can look at the manual here. Their demonstration. Let's set it up like this, I guess. This is kind of stupid, isn't it? So on the top, the thing on the bottom. Okay, whatever. Let's do a merge. And I will put this into the merge first. And then this onto the merge. This is ridiculous. I'll have to look up like how to actually do node workflow. But the the merge goes into the next merge, which goes into the next merge. And this is 3D. Maybe that's what's kind of tricking some things. Okay. I mean, that was it. I did it. That was it. Hooray. Yeah. Then we got the upstream, downstream node concept. Let's see if I do select upstream. So these are all upstream from here. Right. And then disconnecting, reconnecting, right. Okay. We were there. Tracing connections through the node tree. Positioning, wait, what time is it? I'm gonna take a quick pause here, and then we're gonna pick it back up and keep jamming on. Keep jamming. Paint, BRB. We're back. Tracing connections through the node tree. Positioning the pointer over a node causes the connections attached to that node to become highlighted, which make it easier to see which nodes it's attached to. Yeah. Additionally, highlighted connections display the color of the input they're connected to, which makes it easy to see if they're connected to the foreground, a background, or a particular kind of mask. Hovering the pointer over a node highlights the color of all node connections. Okay. Oh, okay. This changed from white to the green because it's the green and then yellow, so that's how that works. And then additionally, positioning the pointer over a connection causes a tooltip to appear that displays the output and input the connection are attached to. Okay. Branching. Branching. A node's input can only have one connection attached to it. However, a tool's output can be connected to inputs on as many nodes as you require. Splitting a node's output to inputs on multiple nodes is called branching. There are innumerable reasons why you might want to branch a node's output. A simple example is to process an image in several ways before recombining these results later on in the node tree. So if you have one media in, you can kind of mix and match and offset things. That gives me an idea. We might go over here. Do we have any clips? Import media. Let's, sure, why not? Let's get this onto the timeline and hop into Fusion. And the idea is that I want to offset the thing. Have two. This is why we do this, what we try. I want to split this off into transform. And then how about also a blur? Is this going to work? And this is going into the background, the foreground, and this is going into the background. Oh, and that's how I could have reorganized the which was on top, but just for the sake, let's make this smaller. Yeah. Cool. And then if this is on top, we can change the blend mode, right? Can we? We do like add or subtract on apply mask inverted GPU. I mean, it's the simple blend mode, but you can't do like other blend modes. Okay, whatever. Whatever, man. And then here we could add a outline. What was it? No, it wasn't outlines. It was like the how to make it glow. Oh. What was the thing for making it glow? Motion blur? Edge detect. That's what I'm looking for. Add edge detect. I don't know why. But then to get this to somehow blend, how to add a blend type. Channels? Could it be in here? Blend, merge. This is what I'm looking for. Lighten. Boom! Yes! That is what I was trying to get to. Oh, I even mentioned this previously, like on episode 2 or something, when I was pointing out how to, like how to, like what the merge works with. That the merge, you can actually go, what was it? I mean, what I'm showing you, just what I'm showing you now, is that the filter method, not the filter method, the mode, you can check the mode here, and then just how I was pointing out is like, this is the foreground, so it's on top, and then this was the background. And then we could add a layer mask. What would a layer mask do to this? How would it appear? What do we think? Probably that, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, come on, I knew that. What? Should have said it. That's what I was about to say. That it was going to affect the thing on top. But yeah, it's kind of cool. And then we could add a blur. Oh, this is starting to make sense. It's all starting to make sense. Except that's not actually working. Right? Yeah, that's not actually blurring for some reason. Why? Can't blur a mask? Or the blur needs to be on here? No. No, that blur's not. Oh, wait. Okay. Uh-oh. Now I'm breaking things. Okay. What? Yes. And the blur, why can't I blur this mask though? That's what I'm. Or is it? No, it's not doing nothing. It ain't doing nothing. Why? Oh, because that's not what the masks. The mask has blur built into it. So if I want to do that, I got to do it inside of the mask itself, I guess. No, still not quite what I was trying to go for. Not quite. I was trying to make this blurrier. Make this effect blurrier. Anyways, this is cool, man. This is actually sweet. Either way, that was important to see how to do the soft edge. Because that looks nice now. And then we could even move this thing so it moves with this. So at the beginning, and then at the end over here, that's cool. That's a cool effect. And then same thing, we don't need both on, right? We could just use this, open this, and then watch it. And then it's kind of struggling. Why would it struggle? This is a 4K video, actually. So it's probably, what does that sound? We can turn it, mute that right there. And then playback. It doesn't need to be. We don't need to preview this in 4K. We're just trying to get a simple thing happening here with the effect. Okay, cool. Let's go back here. So we got, alternatively, it lets you use one image in several different ways. For example, feeding the RGB to one branch for keying and compositing. Oh, that's taking it another step further. While feeding the A channel to the effects mask, the alpha channel, to the effects mask input of another node to limit its effect. Or feeding RGB to a tracker to extract motion information. That is a technique I saw on a video where they were showing, like, with the delta keyer, sometimes, like, for example, okay, let's go back to this other one, for example. With this, if you want to delta key it, delta key, and it's not so easy to tell which color is loading, you can just turn on, what was it? Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, there's an easier way to do this though. I was like, maybe it's not delta keyer. Tracker for tracking. We're tracking, and then we want to have, what I'm trying to show here is that going between RGB, yes, makes it easier. Uh-huh. I don't know. I feel like we're going through a lot, but I'm really struggling to explain this concept that it's at the tip of my head here. Basically, you want to put on just the red. For example, there's a lot of reds here, so if you turned on only the red channel, if you were trying to get a track, it might be easier to see the data for the tracker. A red layer, turn on the red channel, you can see, you can get more information for the tracker to pick up on if it's only looking at the red tracker on a highly red thing. Okay, that made sense. Alternatively, RGB. Okay, immediate end node. Okay, connecting merge nodes. The merge node is the primary tool available for compositing images together. Each merge node is capable of combining two inputs to create a third. Using standard compositing methods and composite modes. For more extensive information about the merge node, see chapter 104 I/O nodes, in-out nodes. Might have to loop back at some point. We'll see. In the Davinci Resolve reference manual, or chapters 42 in the Fusion reference manual, for this chapter, all you need to know is that if you attach a background image to the background input, such as a landscape, and a foreground image with an alpha channel to the foreground input, such as a graphic with an alpha channel, the merge node will combine them into a single image for further compositing. Okay. Each merge node has three inputs. There's a background, which is orange, the default input. Whichever image is connected to this input defines the output resolution of the merge node. So the background determines the output resolution. That's something to put somewhere in your brain. Foreground green. Foreground is green, so what's on top. The secondary input meant for whichever image you want to be on top. And then the effect mask is blue, and that's an optional input you can use to attach a mask or matte with which to limit the effect of the merge node. Yes, kind of how we were demonstrating before. It's important to make sure you're attaching the correct nodes to the correct inputs to ensure you're getting the results you want. Yeah. Yep. I didn't know that this was the foreground. This is the background. Orange is the background. Green is foreground, and then blue is mask. Never knew that. It's important to make sure you're attaching the correct things. And it's important to keep these inputs in mind when you connect to a merge node. Of course, you can always drag a connection to a specific input to make sure you're connecting things the way you need. Yeah. However, if you're in a hurry and simply drag connections right on top of a node, the first connection will be on the background. Tip. First connection will be on the background. Second connection will be on the foreground. The third connection will be made to the effect mask. And then a tip, when you add a merge node after a selected node, by clicking the merge button on the toolbar, by clicking on the merge icon in the effects library, or right clicking a node in the node tree and choosing insert, okay, the new merge node is always added with the background connected to the upstream node coming before it. So when you add a merge node after a selected node, the background is connected to the upstream. Okay, so that auto does that. Automatically creating a merge node when adding nodes. There's a nice shortcut for connecting merge nodes if you want to connect the incoming clip immediately to your node tree as the top layer of a composite. And that's to drag a clip from an operating system window or a generator from the effects library right on top of any connection line. When you drop the resulting node, this automatically creates a merge node, the background input of which is connected to the next node to the left of the connection you dropped the clip onto, and the foreground input of which connected to the new node that represents the clip or generator you've just added. Okay. Additionally, if you drag two or more nodes from an operating system window into a node editor at the same time, merge nodes will be automatically created to connect them all, making this a fast way to initially build a composite. You just bring them in. Automatically creating a merge node by connecting two outputs. Here's an endlessly useful shortcut for when you have a disconnected node that you want to composite over another node. Drag a connection from the output of the node you want to be the foreground layer and drop it on top of the output of the node you want to be the background. So drag the top onto the bottom, basically, that you want. And a merge node will automatically be created to build that composite. Connections. Wow, look at that. Connection options and routers. Routers. By default, the node editor uses linear connections that are drawn straight between any two connected nodes. While efficient, this sometimes causes connection lines to overlap nodes, which some people feel interferes with the view. So this is like a limit of the node editor viewing. But this is the way to fix it, is make it like a router. Jeez. Sheesh. If you like, you can change how connections are drawn by enabling orthogonal connections, which automatically draws lines with right angles to avoid having connections overlap nodes. Kinda. This is a lifestyle decision though, isn't it? Let's see. Let's see if we're vibing. Let's go to the other one because there's more stuff in it. Wait. Let's go to the other one from here. We can open clips and go from here. And then, well, it's really actually, this is not that messy now. But let's see, right click, What was it? Arrange tools to connect it? Is that what it is? By enabling or oops. By enabling, if you like, you can change how connections are drawn by enabling orthogonal connections. Okay, how do I do that? Options, okay, to change, functionally, there's no difference in your composition. The only affects how your node tree appears. I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe. To change how connections are drawn in the node editor, right-click the node editor background and choose one of the following from the contextual menu. Options, direct pipes, or options. So what do you do? Right-click the node editor background, options. Oh, options. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's actually cool that the group is not orthogonal, but the outside of the group is. Let's see if we turn that on. So we could turn this to be orthogonal and this to be orthogonal. That's kind of cool. And now this is orthogonal and all that jazz. Yeah. I kind of like orthogonal. It's probably like if you're getting that big with your node structures, like you want to use probably some combination. Or this is a macro, isn't this? This thing is a macro here. Or it's a group. It's like the same thing. No, this is a group. Let's try and make a group here. What is a group? What? Let's make an entire group of the whole thing. I don't know how to do that. Okay, group. Yeah, there it is. Oh. Now, what's the difference between an underlay and a group? A group can be made smaller that way, and an underlay can't. Doesn't collapse. Huh. Okay. Using routers to reshape and branch connections. If you want to force a particular connection to be drawn at an angle to keep your node tree tidy, you can add a router to either linear or orthogonal connections to force an angle to be drawn however you like. What? So if you want to force it, you can... Oh, add a thing. Oh, you can add a thing. Routers are tiny nodes with a single input and output, but with no parameters except for a... Oh, that's what a router... Okay. Except for a comments field available in the inspector, which you can use to add notes about what's happening in that part of the composition. Even more usefully, you can branch a router's output to multiple nodes, which makes routers even more useful for keeping node trees neat in situations where you want to branch the output of a node in one part of your node tree to other nodes that are all the way on the opposite end of that same node tree. Oh, yeah, that's a router. To add a router to a connection, option click anywhere on a connection. Option click. So alt click, there it is. And then you can make a comment. Comment. And then I thought I was hoping I'd be able to color this. I mean, whatever. Whatever. To move a router, drag the router to a new location and the connection will reshape itself as necessary. I mean, that is tidy. To branch a router's output, drag a connection from the router output to the input of another node. You can branch a router's output as many times as you need to. That's actually the key thing here, is that it isn't a real router. But wait, what do I do? Option click? No. Shift click? No. What? Oh, I just can connect it. Yeah. I could connect it to something else. What should we do? Add another background, add a text layer. Text. There we go. Does that work? Text. This text is not showing up right now. To add a router to a connection, option click anywhere. Okay, to remove a router, select any router and press the delete key, or right click a router and choose the delete from the context menu. Swapping node inputs. For multiple input nodes, such as the merge 3D, and dissolve nodes, there's a quick method of swapping the primary and secondary inputs, such as the foreground and background inputs of a merge node, when you find you've accidentally connected them in the wrong order. If a node has more than 2 of its inputs connected, only the foreground and background inputs will be swapped. To swap the primary inputs of a multi-input node, do one of the following. Select the node and press Command T to reverse its inputs. So let's get, we didn't quite figure that one out. That's okay. Control T. Yeah. You can see it's switching. So that's what we had it at. Oh. Oh. Sweet. Inputs can move freely around the node, so swapping 2 inputs doesn't move the connection lines. Instead, the inputs change color, yes. Extracting and inserting nodes. How are we doing on time? Oh man, wow, today went quick. How close are we to the end of this chapter? I was hoping... Oh no, we're not even close. We're not even close to the end of this chapter, are we? Oh, no, this is going to be several days, isn't it? Okay, so we'll just keep going until we're done with 3 hours for today. Because this is the good stuff. Extracting and inserting nodes. When building composition, you'll often find that you need to rearrange nodes that you've already added in order to connect them in different ways to obtain a better result. This is easy to do by extracting one or more nodes from one part of a node tree and inserting them at another part of the node tree. To extract one or more nodes from their position in the node tree, to extract a single node, hold down the shift key, drag a node from the node tree up or down to disconnect it, and then drop the node before releasing the shift key. What? Oh, is it? Okay. So to take it out. Huh. Huh? Oh, no, actually that's important because like, Saves a little bit of time. You don't have to go like this, and then like this, but instead you just go like that. Ta-da! And then that node is now detached, and the output of the next upstream node is automatically connected to the input of the next downstream node. To extract multiple nodes, select the nodes you want to extract. Hold down the shift key. Drag one of the selected nodes up or down to disconnect them, and then drop the node before releasing the shift key. Yeah, so, same thing. What should we do? If we just go like that? Yeah. Okay. Those nodes are now detached, although they remain connected to one another, and the output of the next upstream node is automatically connected to the input of the next downstream node to fill the gap in the node tree. So after you've extracted a node, you can reinsert it into another connection somewhere else. You can only insert one node at a time. Okay, to insert a disconnected node in the node editor between two compatible nodes, hold down the shift key and drag a disconnected node directly over a connection between two other nodes. Yeah, we know this. Oh, but that actually screwed it up. Yeah, because it was connected like that. Oh, you're right. Hold shift, click it over until it lights up, release, and it's connected. If you hold down the shift key, you can extract a node and reinsert it somewhere else with a single drag. Cut, copy, and paste nodes. The standard operations of cut, copy, and paste are also available in the node editor. You can use them to temporarily remove nodes from the node editor, create duplicate nodes, or even copy the settings from one node and paste those settings into another node with compatible settings. Cut, copy, and paste in the node editor. The standard commands all work, but with some special features specific to the node editor. To copy one or more selected nodes, do the following. Right-click a node and choose Copy from the context menu, or choose Edit, Copy, or do Control-C, like Control-C, yeah. To cut one or more selected nodes, do the following. Right-click over the node and choose Cut, Edit, Cut, or Command-X, so cut just like regular. When you paste into the node editor, you create a copy of the last node or nodes you've cut or copied. When pasting, there are a few different things you can do to control where pasted nodes appear. To paste one or more selected nodes, do one of the following. To paste nodes to be inserted after another node, select the node in the node tree that you want to insert the pasted nodes to, and then do Control Paste. And then to paste nodes to be disconnected from the rest of the node tree, deselect all nodes and then choose Edit, Paste. Yeah, okay, it's the same thing. Okay, we've seen this before. And then to paste a node to replace an existing dude, you do right-click on a node and then you can do Replace. When you paste a media in, loader, or generator node, so it will be inserted after a selected node in the node tree, a merge tool is automatically created and used to composite the pasted node by connecting it to the foreground input. While this can save you a few steps, some artists may prefer to perform these sorts of merges manually. So this can be changed using the defaults panel in the auto. I didn't really read that. Let me reread. Tip: when you paste a media in, a loader or generator node, so it will be inserted after a selected node in the node tree. A merge tool is automatically created and used to composite the pasted node by connecting it to the foreground input. While this can save you a few steps, some artists may prefer to perform these sorts of merges manually. So this can be changed using the defaults panel in the Auto Tools section of the Fusion page. Okay. So you might not want it to automatically paste or automatically merge because it goes straight to the foreground, and that might not be what you want. You can change it in the settings. So pasting node settings. Instead of pasting a node, you can choose to paste just the parameter settings that you copied from another node. This can be useful if you've carefully set up or animated parameters in one node that you want to also use in another node. Note that you can paste settings between two nodes of the same type, or between two entirely different kinds of nodes that happen to have one or more of the same parameters in the inspector. When copying settings from one type of node to another, only the settings that match between two nodes will be copied. A common example is to copy an animated center parameter from a transform node to the center parameter of a mask node. To paste settings, you do Control-C, and then right-click on node and that you want to paste the settings to into the paste settings from the context menu. And then copying and pasting nodes to and from any text editor. The format of nodes in the node editor is not binary, but it is in fact a simple text format. The implications of that may not be obvious. Nope, it's not obvious for me. The format of nodes in the node editor is not binary. Oh, so literally not binary code. It's a simple text format. So what is the implications? But one example benefit is clear when you start dealing with nodes. One or more nodes can be copied from the node editor and pasted directly into a text editor or email. This pastes the selection in text format, just as it's saved internally in Fusion. For example, if you copy the following set of three nodes, a set of three nodes being copied, and then you paste them into a text editor, oh my God. Oh my. Let's try. Let's try. Copy. Oh. Okay. What does that mean? That you can easily find Fusion presets and share them? Do they tell us why that's good? At this point, you have the option of editing the text if you know what you're doing, which I don't, emailing it to colleagues, or storing it in a digital notepad of some sort for future use. To use this script in Fusion again, you need only copy it and paste it back into the editor. Oh, well, I mean, that is kind of cool. Wait, so if I copy, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. That's cool. This is a very easy way to pass specific node settings back and forth between artists who may not be in the same room, city, or country. Instancing nodes. How are we doing on time? Still got a few more minutes. A little bit more. Instancing nodes. Normally, when you use copy and paste to create a duplicate of a node, the new node is completely independent from the original node. Yes. So that change made to one. So the changes made to one aren't rippled to the other. However, there are times when two nodes must have identical settings at all times. For example, when you're making identical color corrections to two or more images, you don't want to constantly have to adjust one color correction node and then manually adjust the other to match. It's a hassle and you risk forgetting to keep them in sync if you're working in a hurry. While there are ways to publish controls in one node and connect them to matching controls in another node, this becomes prohibitively complex and time-consuming for nodes in which you're making adjustments to several controls. In these cases, creating instanced nodes is a real time saver. Instanced nodes, as well as an obvious visual cue in your node tree as to what's going on. Using instanced nodes. Instanced nodes are nodes that have been created using the paste instance command and which share settings with the original node so that a change made to one instance node is also automatically applied to all other instances of that node, as well as the original node you copied. To create an instance, do the following. Select a node you want to instance and copy it. Do one of the following. Create a disconnected instance of that node, or insert the instance node between two. So it's Command-Shift-V. So which one should I instance? Command-Shift-V. Okay. Oh, they're linked that way. And then to put it between specifically where you want it to go, Command-Shift-V. Let's put it here, Command-Shift-V. No. Oh, Command-Shift-V. No. Oh, there we go. Control-Shift-V. It made it merge. I mean, it's doing some stuff. This is not the correct way, but that's how you do it. And it connects that way. That's cool. However, you paste an instance, the name of that instanced node takes the form instance name of node. If you paste multiple instances, each instance is numbered instance name of node 01. Oh, it says instance. Yeah. Oh no, that's even also super important. Because yeah, just like this, if you have like a stack of blurs, I mean, actually I don't have an example. But yeah, if you have multiple things going on and you want it to be applied separately but to each element but also the same amount, then you instance it. Okay. When a node tree contains instanced nodes, a green line shows the link between the original node and its instances. You have the option to hide this green links to reduce visual clutter in the node editor. So you can turn that off if you want. I don't know. Right now it seems like I'd want to keep that on, but it's an option. You can right click anywhere in the background of the node editor and then choose option show instance links from the context menu. Options, show instance links, that's it. And then it goes away. To de-instance a node, making it independent, right-click on the instance, choose de-instance. Right there. Yeah, look, they're all green. Once you de-instance, you cannot re-instance, but you can undo the operation. No, if you've de-instanced a node and you cannot undo the operation because you've restarted Davinci Resolve. You can only recreate an instance, which is no problem, by copying the original and pasting it to the instance again. Okay. Not a big deal, right? How are we doing on time? Oh, we got like 15 more minutes. I'm looking at my stats right now for the stream, and it looks like 0 drop frames and CPU's good and good FPS. I got to start upgrading this stream to with like an overlay and stuff. So de-instancing and re-instancing, yeah. By default, every parameter is in an instanced node is linked. So de-instance, yeah. Keeping node trees organized. Similar to working with files on your desktop, even the simplest of composites require you to do some amount of organization. As you guys have seen, in this section, we'll look at some basic node operations, some of which you may already be familiar with from using your computer's operating system or other applications. Moving nodes. Selecting one or more nodes and dragging them moves them to a node location. Yes, keep in mind the location of nodes is purely aesthetic and does not affect. Once you've arranged the nodes in the composition in some rational way, you can use the sticky note and underlay tools to add information about what's going on and to visually associate collections of nodes more definitively. These tools are covered later in this section. Snapping nodes to the grid. By default, you can position nodes freely wherever you want them to be. However, keeping nodes and connection lines straight and aligned can make them easier to read. To help keep them aligned, you can have nodes you're dragging automatically snap to the grid. To have nodes snap to the grid as they're dragged, right-click over an empty area of the node editor and choose Arrange Tools to Grid. Right-click over an empty area of the node and do Arrange Tools to Connected from the contextual menu. Yeah. You can set Arrange to Grid or Arrange to Connected as the default for new compositions by choosing Fusion settings. I want to do this actually. Because I want to default to grid, but then the option to turn on the orthogonal pipes. But let's see, Fusion settings, and then we go over to Fusion settings. Just right here, right? Fusion settings, defaults, number point. Oh, this is the flow, right? These are flow things. Arrange to grid, that's what it is. Show hidden pipes, pipes always visible, show grid, arrange to grid. Yeah. Navigator auto, pipe style. Oh, and then we could turn it on to orthogonal. Oh, and then this is where you do the build direction. If you want to go this way or you want to work this way. I still don't know. Scale of this stuff. Why would I want to change this? Oh, and then the grab distance. Group opacity, that's cool. You turn the group opacity down or up. I feel like up makes sense. Anyways, so orthogonal, do we want to turn our orthogonal on or just keep it to grid? Let's just keep that like that. Commands to clean up a node tree. The grid in the background of the node editor can be used to align nodes either by eye or automatically. To clean up an unruly node tree, right-click in an empty section of the node editor and choose line up all tools to grid from the contextual menu. All nodes in the node editor will move to align and center themselves along the nearest grid lines. Yes, so just clean it up. Clean it up. Arrange. Yeah, okay. We've already done these things, so it's already pretty tidy in those terms. To clean up only one or more selected nodes, right-click on the selected node and choose Line Up to Grid. Okay. Renaming nodes. Each node that's created is automatically assigned a name based on its function, and a number based on how many of that type of node have been created already. For example, the first blur node added to a composition will be called blur 1. The second will be blur 2, and so on. Although initially helpful, larger compositions may benefit from important nodes having more descriptive names to make it easier to identify what they're actually doing, or to make it easier to reference those nodes and expressions. Rename a node, right-click, and then select the node and press F2. So right-click and rename. Right-click, rename, merge, renamed, or just do F2. And then when the rename dialog appears, type a new name and then click OK and press return. Note, if multiple nodes are selected, multiple dialogs will appear asking for a name for each tool. Oh. Oh. Since Fusion can be scripted and use expressions, the names of nodes must adhere to a scriptable syntax. Only use alphanumeric characters, no special characters, and do not use any spaces. Also, you cannot start a node name with a number. If you accidentally name create a name that doesn't exactly follow the guidelines, spaces and invalid characters will automatically be deleted. If you want to see the original node types instead of the node names, press and hold Command-Shift-E. Command-Shift-E. Oh, Command-Shift-E. You have to hold it. Oh, I kind of like that. I like it because it's like so clean. You can see what's going on, but then when it adds the numbering actually makes it a little confusing. A little more like jumbled. So that's a good way to like clean up and just take a look. If you're ever like taking a glance at a node tree, my first thing is to like just do Control-Shift-E to see it at a glance. Yeah. Changing node colors. You can change the color of the node by selecting it, opening the inspector, and choosing a new color. Let's do that. Select all of them. Make it all olive. 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 What about all these? Why aren't these olive? Olive. Okay, I don't think usually you would do this, where you just make everything green or olive. think usually you would want to have some sort of scheme to it. I think it's a cool idea to have the merges as like a different color, like a tan. And then it's all organization stuff, isn't it? And then media out should be blue, I guess. Media in. There was no media in. Can I recolor this? Okay. Okay. Using sticky notes. Wait, what's it say? Alternatively, you can right click on the node and choose the color. To return a node to its regular color, right click and choose set color, clear color from the context menu. All right. So using sticky notes, a good way to add notes about different parts of a composition, client feedback about various details, and other information you want to keep track of is to add sticky notes to the node editor. Sticky notes are yellow boxes in which you can type whatever text you want. They can be resized, moved, and collapsed when they're not being edited. But once created, they remain attached to the background of the node editor where you place them until you either move them or delete them. Methods of working with... Okay, we're almost... Let's get through this to the next section, yeah. Oh, and underlays. Let's get through this. Methods of... Actually, no, okay. So let's go through this. Methods of working with sticky notes. To create a sticky note, click somewhere in the node editor where you want a sticky note, then press shift spacebar, type sticky, and press enter. Alternatively, from the effects or the side thing. And then, so just sticky. Just like that. To open a sticky note to full size, double click it, minimized, and expands. Does it close back up? And expands to a larger resizable. Oh, so now it's resizable like this. To edit the sticky note, if necessary, double click the thing to open it to full size, and then click once it's in the body of the note to place a text cursor. You can edit it just like any other text editor. To rename a sticky note, right click it, choose rename. Same with F2. To resize a sticky note, double click to open it to the full size, and then drag any of the edges or corners to make it larger or smaller. And then to minimize the sticky, click the close box at the upper left hand corner of the sticky note, and it collapses. And then to delete a sticky note, right click any sticky note and choose delete. So to delete it, oh, there's the wait. Okay. And then underlay boxes. I think this is where we should pause for today. Yes, I think so. I think this is a good spot because it will be good to like come back into this as a reminder about underlay boxes and sticky notes. This is where I want to pick back up. All right, cool. Making progress. How many did we do today? How many pages was that? Where did we start? I don't remember. I don't think it was 50 though. Can't remember. Where did we start today? Either way, we are gonna end today here and then pick it up from here tomorrow or on the next episode. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.